Hello, everyone. It's Monday morning in the early hours, and I'd like to read you a story. Before I do that, let me just start with a disclaimer. Full disclaimer is in the description below. These are my thoughts and opinions. Information was found on a public domain, and this channel is for entertainment only. Dear Meghan, put down the British crown on your head before I remove it with my pen. Posted March 27th by Mary-Tamar Wasjean. And this is a picture of her, and there's a picture of Meghan that we've all seen before. Dear Meghan, as you have made it your life destiny to destroy this country's heritage and crown, whilst you still wear your own version of the crown they gave you, I stand here on British soil claiming my birthright, as the majority of black people reading my articles cannot comprehend my love for Britain, they think this is some form of insanity on my part, because if I am black, I'm supposed to hate Britain and love Africa. They keep telling me the British people will never love me or accept me. But Meghan, I want you to know that way before you came on the scene, I did serve my country, even through my pencil, without seeking love or validation from anyone. So, as you brand yourself the ultimate racial victim of the British royal family, yet you claim to not know about their history, let me school you for a minute on some racial British history in the monarchy. There once was a woman, fully black, with blue-black skin and nappy hair. A woman more honorable than you could ever be. She faced true hardships. She was taken away from her people and family. Come here, kitty, kitty. When she was only 5 and held as a prisoner. She was a true noble birth, a daughter of an African chief. That woman was Sarah Forbes Boneta. The Queen paid for Sarah to be educated and saw her several times in the space of a few years. Here, kitty, kitty. Sarah, a highly intelligent girl, developed a particular talent for music. She married in 1862 and later had a daughter, Victoria, to whom the Queen acted as godmother. This remarkable woman became a black British royal and was treated as such by the Queen. I am sure life was very hard for her. She had to adjust to life here in England, especially at the time, when her people, I lost my place playing with my daughter's cat, were in bondage. But history speaks kindly of this young woman. She took with grace and dignity what life threw at her and became the best version of herself on British soil, learning music and serving her country. She got married and had children and lived happily ever after. Remember when Meghan was saying, or people said that she was the first black or mixed race royal in the family, and we know about Queen Charlotte and others, but I believe this was the first one. Sarah Forbes Boneta and family. Born in West Africa to Yoruba descent, Sarah Forbes Boneta was captured in 1848 at the age of 5 during the Okandan War. King Gezo of Dahomey captured in the city of Okandan, sacrificing many inhabitants and leading the rest away into slavery. While her family were killed in the war as the daughter of an African chief, Sarah was kept in captivity as a state prisoner, either to be presented to an important visitor or to be sacrificed at the death of a minister or official to become his attendant in the next world. In June 1850, Captain Forbes on board the Boneta arrived in Dahomey on a mission to negotiate the suppression of the slave trade. While there, he asked the king for the little girl as a present, whether for himself or on behalf of the Queen is not clear. The request was granted and the child was brought to England, being given the names of Forbes Boneta after the captain and his ship. She lived at first with Captain Forbes' family. Then, on November the 9th, she was taken to Windsor Castle and received by Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. The Queen paid for Sarah to be educated and saw slavery, while her family were killed in the war as her daughter As the daughter, of an African chief, Sarah was kept in captivity as the state prisoner, either to be presented. I'm sorry, that wanted to go back on what we had just said. Sorry, maybe it rolled back up. So I think it just repeated itself on there. So let me skip down. I apologize. The irony is the black people who praise and worship you, Meghan, for spitting on the royal family are the same people who pride themselves as they associate with this remarkable young woman. So much they share her pictures on black Facebook groups as part of Black History. It's okay. And calling her a princess to the United Kingdom of Great Britain and the goddaughter to Queen Victoria. Yet she never disgraced, I'm sorry, the dog next door is barking. I'm going to have to close the door. She never disgraced the royal family like you have done. The same black people who look up to you and this historical woman as a source of black power and inspiration are the same people who today are saying that I'm not that I'm not even worthy to be compared to you, Meghan, and mock me for defending my country, saying that I am a traitor to the black race because I love England, the country they claim to hate, even though they risk their lives to live here. Oh, Meghan, see the people whom you inspire, hypocrites and self-haters. Unlike you, Meghan, who stands up and boldly lies to the world that you have funded your own college education when it was actually your white father who made you to become the woman you are today and gave you the platform for you to be where you are. I will never stand up and lie that I got here by myself. If my father was not whom he is today or socially connected to the most powerful people in the kingdom, if he was not a chief Muntuta, I would not be where I am today. For that reason, he is the only member of my family I still speak to, because in all of his shortcomings, he has never been evil to me to the extent of trying to stop me from flying, as my mother does. He has shown me mercy and sympathy during some dark times in my life. So I honor him and I forgive him, even though at times he hurts me, but I will always have a soft spot for him. And for that, he gave me the biracial blessing of a father. The same Isaac gave to Jacob. He told me over and over that of all his children, I am the one he gave his blessing. My father supports my pen and calls me a global writer in his own words. Sometimes I write things that so hurt his feelings and kingdom, which he loves so much and defends. But he still says, you have so much pain in you, so I understand why you write the things you write about in Zimbabwe. So let me tell you something, Meghan. Never underestimate the blessing of a father. It surpasses that of a mother. Every child on this earth should seek it. That's why Esau cries tears of blood for a father's blessing. That is why this is your father, not mother, who gives you away and blesses your marriage. Like you, Meghan, my father gave me the best education in Zimbabwe. My English teacher was a white man from Liverpool who perfected the art of creative writing in me. So unlike you, Meghan, I will always be indebted to my father, even though I have left his house and refused to go back. He is the one who handed me over to England. He sent me to the university when I was only 17. Because I was under 18 as I arrived in the UK border, I was detained because I had no legal guardian, even though I was coming to study. Behold, my father in Zimbabwe, so angry, picked up the phone and called immigration, apparently demanding to speak to the chief immigration officer at Gatwick. If there was ever such a thing. Somehow he managed to speak to someone important and said, why are you detaining my daughter? Do you know who she is? Do you know who I am? I have over 200 servants right now. I own land and a mansion. So I was interviewed again by the immigration when I had lost hope, thinking I was about to be deported, and they started asking me strange questions I had never prepared for. But my gut told me just to speak the truth, They never told me my father had called them. Do you have servants at your home in Zimbabwe? They asked me. Yes, I answered, not knowing why I was being asked such. How many? The man asked me. I don't know, maybe over 100, I said. Okay, your father has called, and we have spoken to him. The good news is that we can let you in, but on condition that you stay with a legal guardian whom we have spoken to and has agreed to take you in, because he is a friend of your father, the immigration officer told me. So I left Gatwick Airport, entering Britain for the first time, excited and scared at my new life. As I was driven to the house of my legal guardian in London, the Zimbabwean ambassador to the United Kingdom, I was let into a country because I was a daughter of an African chief. That was my privilege and birthright in entering the UK. Was my father not who he was? I would have been deported. I entered the UK on the grounds that my legal guardian was an accredited diplomat of the kingdom. The ambassador shook his head when I entered his house, a beautifully furnished house, as I marveled at glory of England. Jean, your father is crazy. He demanded I speak to the immigration and say I was the one looking after you here. He didn't even give me a choice. The things he told the immigration, I have never seen anything like it. He laughed and welcomed me to England and blessed me and told me to go and live my life. My father taught me that royalty is a destiny and calling, something you are born with, rich or poor, that when it calls you, you can never run away from it. As he always teaches me about the spiritual history of Zimbabwe, saying I am the granddaughter of his ancestors and that they are calling me back to take the kingdom. As a priestess of dreams, one of the gifts my father cherishes and wishes me to use are for us in this kingdom. I will always have dreams of being called back by the gods themselves, the ancestors of the kingdom. I have seen them. I have beheld the kingdom in all its glory, or should I say darkness. But I take this advice and I choose destiny over the crown. What's funny right now is that as Zimbabweans laugh at me for having a mental problem and say I should leave you alone, some of them, even though they worship you, can now see that you are a liar, Meghan. Yes, your own supporters confess that you are a liar. And they say, so what? Even if she's a liar, leave her alone. You will never be Meghan Markle, they say. The logic boggles the mind. I do not want to be you, Meghan. I would be damned if I'd become like you. Unlike you, I honor my father. Unlike you, I respect my husband and his family. I do not claim to be bigger than the man I married. I was a single mother of 4, a divorcee. I am grateful for being received by Ghana. Zimbabwe does not recognize me as a writer, but Ghana does. The Asante people have put a crown on my head, so I can never ever spit on them or shame them the way you have spat on the British royal family. You have humiliated them after they gave you their son, even as a divorcee, bending their own traditions to allow you into their family. I have received nothing but love from the Asante people. If history is to judge between the two of us, I am more of a black British royal daughter of England than you have ever been. As a daughter of an African chief, I would rather identify with a woman of honor like Sarah Forbes Boneta, as I share far more attributes in common with her than with you. And this is a picture of her on August the 15th, 1880, Princess of the United Kingdom of Great Britain, goddaughter to Queen Victoria. At least I do not spit on the kingdom that gave me freedom and allowed me to be the best version of myself. And this country is if this country is so evil to you, and if truly your husband's family took your passport and locked you in a tower, please kindly put down the crown they gave you. It belongs here on British soil, not on Oprah tell-all interviews or on your essays to the New York Times, which can only sell if they have the title of Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, or your Disney voiceover, that was cringingly, by the way. The only reason you are able to have all of this money-making opportunities is because of the crown the British put on you. Before that British crown was on your head, no one in the world knew who you were. So, as my mentor Beethoven once said, do not only practice your art, but force your way into its secrets. For it and knowledge can raise men into the divine. So yes, I choose destiny over crown any day, no matter the price. United Kingdom is my destiny, and Zimbabwe is my crown. But I will fight the one thing along, my destiny. They say to me, have you no shame? But I am not ashamed. I will never stop writing about you until you give up the title of Duchess of Sussex. The British royal family may not strip you off their own crown, but for the sake of maintaining political correctness in this now fragile world, even though you have threatened their existence. But I have nothing to lose. My Zimbabwean crown I already put down. But because right now you have become the queen of black people through your appropriation of the struggle of women like me, I will fight you back. So do the right thing now and remove that crown from your head with your own hands at once before I do it with my gift of the pen, and I will. The Genesis of the Revelation by Mary-Tamar. What a beautiful writer she is. And this is a woman of color that is writing to Meghan directly and kind of calling her out for what she's done and for treating her father disrespectfully and for the crown that's given her so much, who is, the truth be said, she mentioned that no one would have ever known who Meghan was and that she wouldn't have the platform that she does without being married to Harry, and that she's pulled him away from his family. She's shaming her out, and it's about her character or lack thereof, of the way she's treated everyone, and she's letting her know that what Meghan has done is absolutely wrong, and it's shameful, disrespectful, and she's disrespected so many people in her life, including her own father, her family, her mother's side of the family, and all of Harry's family, all of the members of the royal family. And I truly believe the people of the United Kingdom who paid her way for so long, who came out to support them for their wedding, who supported them on their walkabouts and showed up and stood for hours and sometimes rain just to have a glance at her or to be able to shake her hand or to give her a bouquet of flowers. All the things that she's done is a slap back in their face. But now what she's done is she's really hurting the royal family and the monarchy and trying to bring them to their knees. And she's using this all over things that that people will get behind. That's the cancel culture. That's the current narrative, to say that she has been treated differently because of who she is, when we all know that she's one drop of that skin tone. And it's only convenient for her to use it now when she's never identified it with ever in her life. So I thought this was a good article. I wanted to share it with you. And maybe by doing so, who knows, maybe Meghan will read it and relate to what this lady is saying to her and perhaps see the error of her ways. But thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I appreciate it. Thank you to all the subscribers. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, everyone. Have a fantastic week.